Hi everybody. Now you've probably seen quite a few Arma 2 videos pop up on my channel over the last few weeks, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why is Rob playing this game that's over 10 years old? Not only that, but a game that's had a sequel since it came out. And why is he playing it when, you know, he's really into a lot of DayZ content? I mean, I do other stuff as well, don't I? Like PUBG and Call of Duty and Battlefield as well. But why Arma 2? I mean, this game came out sort of 2009, 2010. Well, a little bit of background first, if you weren't sure about it. So Arma 2 is a military simulator set in the early 2000s. So it's got early 2000 era weapons and early era 2000 factions as well. And in common with all of the Arma games and DayZ, the action takes place on these massive maps. The maps are often the star of these games, you know, like in DayZ, Chernarus is the star in Livonia. Same goes for Arma 2. And mods are readily available for Arma 2. Now, they're not Steam mods, they're mods you get from other places and install them slightly differently. But there's lots of them available, just as there is for Arma 3 and DayZ as well. And if you think even about DayZ on console, we have XML modding and we have JSON modding as well. But what makes Arma 2 very special, especially for people who are into DayZ, is that Arma 2, this is where DayZ came from. Originally, DayZ back in 2010, whenever it was a mod for Arma 2. And it was a mod that sold millions of copies of Arma 2 as well, because everybody wanted to play it. And you can still get the Arma 2 DayZ mod. Now, I don't recommend you try and install it and play it, to be honest, because modern DayZ, whether that be on console or PC, DayZ standalone as it's kind of called, is so much better. It's so much better. However, Arma 2 is where this came from, and especially if you're just playing Arma 2, but especially like the campaign from Arma 2, this is where Chernarus came from. And we can probably all agree that Chernarus is one of the most amazing maps ever created in video game history. You know, it was all based on real places in the Czech Republic, and that, you can really feel that in the game. So when you're in Arma 2 and you're playing through the campaign, you know, you're playing through Novi Sabor, you're playing through Stary Sabor, you're in and around Elektrogorsk and Chernarus. Now, they're not exactly the same. There's obviously lots of things have been changed. The northwest airfield is different. The northeast airfield is different. You know, because this is from a long time ago. But things like the colour schemes and the style of the buildings is eerily similar. And the timeline of Arma 2 and DayZ go together. Basically, if you weren't aware of it, the idea is that during Arma 2, the story is that Chernarus, where you are, you know, and the map, is going through a civil war. And there's Russian settlers in Chernarus, and there's the native Chernarusians, if you like, and a civil war breaks out with the Russians helping the Russian settlers, and NATO helping the original Chernarusians. Kind of sounds a little bit similar to what we have now in Ukraine. And then there's a battle goes on, and then where the DayZ universe comes in, when that finishes, or while it's going on, this virus appears, which turns people into the into the infected. So that, you know, they go on one from the other. Now, in the Arma universe, that never happens, and then you jump forward to Arma 3, which is set in the 2040s, I think, isn't it? You know, it's set in the future. So the game feels very, very similar. And when you're walking around DayZ and you see the wrecks of armoured vehicles, they're the same ones that you're playing in Arma 2 or fighting against in Arma 2. So that's, you know, very, very cool indeed. And as I kind of said, you could say, well, why not just play Arma 3? Well, that's because Arma 3 is set far into the future, and people have brought out DayZ mods for Arma 3. You know, like Savage, and I think is it called Savage, but Ravage, sorry. And there's a few, but the feel of Arma 3 DayZ just doesn't feel as good as Arma 2 DayZ. Now, I'm also not really saying that as you're trying to recreate DayZ in Arma 2. I think you're better off playing Arma 2 as a military simulator and working your way through the campaigns and the going to the armory and doing the challenges and doing the different scenarios, because the controls can be a little bit janky. excuse me, got a bit of a cough today, and a little bit odd. And in fact, one of the really, really cool things about Arma 2, as with Arma 3, is the mission editor. And what you can do with the mission editor is you can create your own scenarios. And what it's very good at is if you download something like the Undead mod, you can then create little scenarios, little DayZ scenarios, if you like, but where in DayZ you're like a civilian, where you found like a hunting rifle or maybe an SMG or an assault rifle, if you're lucky, where your firepower is limited. In Arma 2, you can give yourself whatever you want. You know, you could be in a tank against a group of zombies. You can have an amazing sniper rifle, all done very, very easily, and you can just set up the scenario in the editor, plonk down some zombies, and then and just go for it and play. It's almost like a arcade version of DayZ, for sort of 10 minutes, get a bit of shooting in, and really enjoy it that way. And I think that is absolutely fantastic that you can do that. One of the really good reasons actually for playing Arma 2 as well is that because it is such an older game, it runs much, much better on underpowered PC. So I use a Shadow Cloud gaming PC, and Arma 3 doesn't run very well on it at all. It often dips well below 30 frames a second. However, Arma 2 generally, in most situations, especially when I'm doing scenarios in the editor, is up above 60 frames a second, so it looks smoother and it feels so much better. Another reason you may well be interested in playing Arma 2 is simply to get ready for Arma 4 or Arma Reforger that will be coming soon. I've tend to find that I think Arma 2 is a little bit more user friendly than Arma 3. Arma 3, it can be very, very challenging indeed, but you can also use Arma 2 as a way in to Arma 3 as well. Because Arma 2, your quality of life is much better in terms of loading speeds and moving in and out of menus. Because the game is much smaller and it's much snappier on newer hardware than came out there. So there we go. So there's some reasons why I think you should think about playing Arma 2 if you've got a PC. If you're interested in DayZ, it really does feel like you're in the same universe as DayZ when you're running around, but it's before the infected arrive. Now the question you probably got as well is, which version of Arma 2 should I buy? Now the first thing I'd say is wait for it to go on sale, or get it from a key place, but the version you genuinely want to get is normally the Arma X Anniversary Edition. Now the Arma X Anniversary Edition includes Arma 2, but importantly it includes Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead, and that was like the update that came out that added some more stuff to the game, but also some more gameplay features as well. So if you want to play the DayZ mod, you need to have Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead. But Arma X Anniversary Edition also includes all the DLC for Arma 2, so you get the Army of the Czech Republic, British Armed Forces, Private Military Company, so these all add extra missions as well to the single player. And you also get the original Arma, so you get Arma Cold War Assault and you get Arma Gold Edition as well. So you kind of get in everything up to Arma 3. It doesn't include Arma 3, so I would always look out for that. It always goes in the Steam sale. Every few months you can pick it up. You can pick it up really cheap, and often you'll see it on key sites as well. Now the version of Arma that actually comes with Chernarus, though, if you really just want to limit it, is the original Arma 2. If you just get the original Arma 2, that does have Chernarus on it and the editor, so you can then download the Undead mod and go for it. But I would highly recommend get Arma X, the Anniversary Edition, because that includes Operation Arrowhead, which is needed for lots of the other mods as well. So there we go, Arma 2. Check it out, I'm sure you'll have a laugh, and as a DayZ fan you'll be like, yeah, I know where Rob's coming from. That's enough from me. Hopefully you found the video useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.